Hello, everyone. It's Tuesday. Let's chat. We are in our final segment talking about health and nutrition and wellness. And this is Ms. Kim Heminger, and she is our certified functional nutritional lifestyle practitioner, as well as a RN, a registered nurse. And she has some other credentials I do want her to tell you about, just so you can understand that a little bit better. So tell us a little bit about yourself, and thank you again for joining us again. We're so excited. Everyone's been learning a lot.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm, in addition to what Leah mentioned, I'm also a brain wellness practitioner, and I have certified RECODE practitioner. So it just means I work with people that want to improve their brain health or prevent cognitive decline, or are experiencing dementia, Alzheimer's, or cognitive decline. So I do that as well.
Perfect. And so just to recap, for the past couple of weeks, we've talked about your gut health, we've talked about your digestive system, we've just talked about getting everything in balance and understanding what's going on the inside. So part of what's going on in the inside is what you're actually putting in the inside. And a lot of people were asking, well, now that we know this, what is it that we should be consuming? So we're going to talk about that today. What are some of the foods that you should be consuming? What should your plate really look like? So tell us, because everybody thinks that there's this magical, perfect plate that you can just put together for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So what are your thoughts about putting together your plate when you're getting ready to eat?
Okay, well, first of all, I'm really glad we're talking about this because we're all so busy. You know, we're busy, go, go, go. And what happens is that we end up just throwing whatever's in our fridge together and we call it a meal. And, you know, we all do it because we're just too busy. So unfortunately, that does not end up being a balanced meal, and that leads to low energy, weight gain, and really inflammation in our body. So building this skill, taking time to learn what's supposed to be in a healthy meal or a healthy snack, building that skill goes a long way. So that way you know what to put on your grocery list, which means it's going to make it into your house, which means if you have to throw something together quickly, you have all the right components to throw it together. So I'm glad we're talking about it. So I like to think about a healthy plate, first of all, a healthy plate will have two components that are really important. It will be nutrient dense. Okay, so for a meal to be nutrient dense just means it doesn't have a lot of processed foods in it, like, you know, a bunch of crackers, a bunch of white bread, pancakes, things like that. It's mostly going to have just whole food like fruits, vegetables, meat, fish, whole grains, things like that. So nutrient dense, filled with fiber, lots of vitamins and minerals. The second thing this plate is going to have, in general, is going to have all three of the macronutrients. So are you familiar with what that is?
No, so tell us what macronutrients are.
So every meal that we eat should be composed of all three macronutrients.
Okay.
There should be a protein, there should be a fat, and there should be a carbohydrate.
Okay.
All right, so having those three...
Give me an example of each of those.
Yeah, so having those three together is going to keep your blood sugar balanced, keep your energy balanced, and keep you feeling satisfied. And that's really the whole job of foods. And plus, it's going to bring you all the nutrients that you need. So proteins are going to be coming from animals or from plants. So animals are going to be like meat, poultry, eggs, etc., fish, and then plants, lentils, beans, nuts and seeds. Right?
Okay.
Then we have our fats are going to be olive oil, avocado oil, nuts and seeds. Again, nuts and seeds, yes, they're proteins, but they're also great fats. They're a combination food. And nuts, seeds, avocados, and olive oils. Those are, and then you also can find some fats in your fatty fish, like salmon, mackerel, also cod, and then in some of your meats, like if you eat the skin of your meat, so that's going to have some fat as well. Carbohydrates are tricky. This is the one people get really confused about. I mean, if you think about it, candy and pop are carbohydrates, fruits and vegetables are carbohydrates, but then also potatoes, grains, whole grains, or that hamburger bun that's white, they're all carbohydrates. So carbohydrates really run the gamut of some of them being beneficial and some of them really not being beneficial. So when I say a meal should have these three components. When I'm referring to carbs, we want carbs that are filled with fiber, all right, and nutrients, so they're not processed. So every time you eat, you should just look in the fridge and say, put this meal together and say, where's the protein, where's the fat, and where is the fiber? That's the three questions. Those are the three components of any healthy meal.
Okay.
All right.
Anything else with the different nutrients? I know is there micro and macro?
So micronutrients are actually the vitamins and minerals, polyphenols that are in the foods, and they're going to be in these whole foods. So like I said, every meal that you put together, every healthy plate is going to be nutrient dense. That means it's going to have a lot of micronutrients, vitamins and minerals, things like that. The macronutrients are the proteins, the carbs, and the fats. Those are the larger molecules.
Okay. And then are there any basics that you would tell someone who's getting started with putting everything together, just so they don't get overwhelmed if they're going to the grocery store and they're just like, I need to grab everything off of the shelf that's, all of this. So what would you tell them?
Well, keep it simple. You want to plan ahead and keep it simple. So think through your week or write it down. What are the meals that I want through the week? And make sure when you're composing those meals, you're going to pick a protein. So maybe you're for that week, you're going to buy some cod, buy some chicken, buy some beef, okay? And then you can cook those once, eat them twice, right? You cook the chicken, but one night you have it as your main dish. The other night you put it on top of a salad. So buy some proteins, make sure you have healthy fats in your house. You have nuts and seeds, you have olive oil, you have avocados, things like that. And then make sure you have the healthy carbs. So carbs like quinoa, brown rice, and sweet potatoes are really the best.
Okay.
So keep it simple. Think of the macronutrients. Fill up your house with those, and then you can combine them for meals very quickly.
Okay, curveball. So you ate and you consumed everything, and now it's going through your digestive system, and you absorb what you need to, and now your body's getting ready to excrete everything.
Okay.
What should they be looking for when their body's excreting?
Oh, so bowel movement?
Oh, bowel movement.
Okay. So I like to talk about bowel movements. I get a new client and I'm like, we got to get over the hump of talking about bowel movements because it's really important. Your bowel movements are going to reflect, a healthy body in so many ways. So you want to look for, this sounds crazy, but 12 to 14 inches in total in a day. So having 2 to 3 bowel movements in a day, that add up to about that much. You want it to be well formed, not too hard, not too soft. You don't want it to really float. It can float maybe once in a while, but a sign of chronic floating means you're not absorbing your fat. So it's sending you a signal. You don't want
it should always sink.
Yeah, it should sink. And then you don't want a lot of food particles in there. If you eat corn does not digest well. You're probably going to see the corn. That's okay. But if you're always seeing food in your bowel movements, if they're floating, if they're mostly loose, or if they're mostly hard, or if you're not having one daily, then you should be concerned.
And is there anything they can do to help that?
Well, it all depends on where you're at, but increasing your fiber is one thing that helps people not become constipated. So it really helps move things through.
What are your best fiber foods?
Well, the best thing is going to be to eat fruits and vegetables. I mean, half of your plate should be vegetables. It's loaded with fiber, as well as all those micronutrients you were asking me about. And so it'll really fill you up. Fruits are filled with fiber, and anything whole grain. So those are all carbs. So all carbs that have fiber in them, like fruits, vegetables, whole grains. Even if you eat potatoes or sweet potatoes with the skin on it, you're gonna get more fiber. The cucumber, yes, that's a fiber food, but mostly if you have the skin on it.
Okay. Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys.
Okay.
So make sure you are checking your bowel movements and that they are sinking and not filled with any of the food. I'm trying to make sure I remember everything that you just said. Well formed, 12 inches a day. You have at least 2 to 3 bowel movements a day.
Yep.
That's normal. So
it's interesting to me. Someone will say to me, I don't have any problems with my bowel movements. And then so how many do you have a day? Oh, I don't have one every day. I'm like, oh, okay, let's talk. Because, your bowels, the job of your bowels is to get rid of toxins. And if you're not having a bowel movement every day, then it's sitting in your system and it can get reabsorbed, and you don't want to do that. That'll make you sluggish. Okay.
We don't want that reabsorbed
No.
back into your system.
No.
All right. Do you have any final thoughts you want to send them off with for, continuing to keep their energy high, their health together, living their best life?
Well,
health-wise?
I have to say, having that balanced plate of protein, fat, and carbohydrates with fiber in it will keep you satisfied. It will keep you from having to have another snack. And it will keep your blood sugar balanced, which keeps your energy up, which keeps your mood up, and it keeps your weight nice and stable. So that's the most important thing. A lot of people will skip the fat. Don't do it. Don't do it. You need to have that to make yourself feel satisfied. And every one of these macronutrients are building blocks. They have building blocks in them to help our mood, to help our hormones. And we need all of them. Can't skip them.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to include her contact information. So if you have any additional questions, please feel free to reach out to her. She is more than happy to answer your questions and get you scheduled for a consultation if that's what you would like to do. So I encourage you all to continue to be your own advocate and listen to your body and continue to be healthy. So have a great week. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.